Hello, Froggy here, and today I'm showing you how to get to the veiled statue at the end of the Garden of Salvation raid. This builds on the work of many other people. My contribution here is just a nicer way to the statue.
They take us for fools. The artifact you brought back from the pyramid began emitting a signal, one that reaches deep into the Black Garden. Once again, we are beckoned into their trap. They expect us to follow the signal, to discover where it leads. Fine. We will play their games, but this time with caution, not curiosity.
I've left the entire run intact, although I have sped it up occasionally to get through some parts that are not terribly interesting, like me failing to kill all the enemies at the start without dying a few times. It turns out that whatever armor I happen to have on at the time and my tricking weapons are not my best PvE gear. While Glitch Tutorial has shown us that you can get both chests as any character, to get where we're going to need a Titan with Code of the Missile and a sword, plus some means to die quickly. It's important throughout this run that you conserve your sword ammo, because we don't really get an opportunity to pick up any more. The first interesting thing that we do is get out of the map to get past the first encounter. Personally, I like climbing up to the top here and using a bit of sword ammo to sword fly across. There are many methods to doing this, so you can choose whichever works best for you. You just have to avoid a few kill barriers if you stray into the wrong areas. If you fail to jump to this part, you can climb up the side pretty easily. This part isn't particularly difficult, but it is annoying to get this little jump right. When you drop off the side to the left, you'll be looking to hit the load zone. I line myself up with this little corner here to hit it. And once you do, you just kill yourself with your grenades or something to respawn inside of the mat. If you walk around too much before then, you might have to kill yourself a few times to backtrack. Naturally, you can grab the chest here, but that's not what I'm here to do. So this marks the most difficult part of this whole route. It used to be reasonably easy to do with the sticky grenades, but we don't have those anymore. Luckily, Heretic found a method to get by without using any of those things, so you can find a more graceful demonstration of this in his video. Don't be afraid to change your jump types. I had to do that a few times throughout this, and it would have saved me a bit of time to realize that earlier. Occasionally, you'll need to switch over to the side of the structure in order to climb up further. After you switch to the side for the first time, you need to use this white pillar to climb higher. There's a turn back timer on it, so don't stay there for too long. And after that comes the tricky part. You're going to want to go to your highest jump here and use Code of the Missile to gain a bit of extra height. And this is not how you do it. You can watch as I go through all of the stages of grief here. A bit of denial. Maybe I didn't use my super, but no. No, it's not there anymore. I have no choice but to wait for the entire charging duration. And the depression kicks in. And finally, acceptance. Luckily for you, you don't have to wait that time. You want to get a good amount of distance between yourself and the structure, because you need time to actually gain the height that you need with Code of the Missile. And you're aiming for the right side here. You can use your sword to help get a foothold on the slanted ground. This will help you reclaim your jump as you make the jump over to the left. I needed to switch back to high jump to actually make this jump here. But the rest can just be accomplished with normal jumps. Now all that's left is to cross this open field, but if you don't get high enough, the countdown turnback timer will kill you, so try to go in with a plan. If you go high enough, you get a little bit of a reprieve, but the recharge on that countdown is a bit slower than you might want. You don't have to use any sword ammo, and you want to avoid that, since we'll have to do a good bit of sword flying in a bit. Use Thunder Crash to push through the turn back at the end if you don't have much time left. And now, it is very important that you take the lower portal, because the lower portal is cool and everyone likes it. And this isn't entirely necessary, but it does cut off a little bit of the time that I lost charging my super. You want to just scoot over to the side as it rotates to stay on top. Feel in LA posted this out of bounds on Raid Secrets as a way to reach the end chest location. It's located near the final set of Divinity puzzles. Simply jump up onto the flowery thing and jump up and to the left. Now's where the sword flying comes in. You turn around and just sword fly directly from the direction we came from. We can use this little stump thing as a spot to land and gain our composure. We're actually going to be continuing in this direction, but I managed to get slightly disoriented and flew around here for a bit, so you don't have to take this silly route that I do. You can just continue straight on along. But you will want to pay attention to what I finally orient myself towards, because that will be our destination. We're aiming for the first gap here, in between these two large white structures. They are intangible, so we will be going straight through them. Shortly after you're past it, there will be a green, sort of hilly thing on the right that you can get onto. With good sword flying, you don't even need your super. Our destination is that broken log. I don't know who found that out of map, but I was shown it by Squirrely and JB3 back when we were messing around with the pocket finishers. You technically don't need your super here, but, you know, never hurts to have it. Once again, you can use your sword to help jump higher up here, which will help us reach that branch. It's important to know when to quit when sword flying. I didn't actually reclaim my jump here, so I'm not going to waste any sword ammo, because I'm not getting that back without doing this whole thing over again. There's an invisible wall that covers a lot of space around here, but you can avoid it by going to the right and staying about level with the floor so that we can still get up onto the branch. To re-enter, you'll have to jump over a wall that's invisible from this side, so you'll want to make sure to be at the top of this area. And we are inside. And no point in letting a good super go to waste. Naturally, since we haven't actually completed the encounter, there is no chest here, but we have arrived all the way to the veiled statue at the end of garden without having to do any of those encounters. Because of course, the only reason we're running this is to see the statue. Who needs loot? Well, hopefully you learned something new. And naturally that hole goes both ways, so you can mess around outside of the map after your next garden. Until next time, happy exploring.